Str8 No Chaser. A former professor of mine was talking about a friend of his who was married, had the family, had the wife, and for whatever reason, what was going back and forth in the relationship with the wife, he didn't feel like he was being heard. He didn't feel like they was connecting, and it was something that was continually happening over and over and over again. So they got to the point where his friend went home, tried to talk to his wife about a certain thing. She dismissed it again. And then he said, you know what? You never listened to me. Pulled a gun out and blew his brains out in front of her. Now, like I said, this is a very, it's anecdotal. And of course, this is like extreme. But in that experience, I don't know if anyone would have pegged that he was going through something that would have required, as a result of manning up, he was feeling like this, or as a result of not being able to talk to someone, he was feeling like this. Maybe some people just get to a point they were just like, you know what, I'm tired, and I just want to check out of here.
Anthony Bourdain.
Facts.
I mean, is what it is sometimes.
Listen, at the end of the day, we got to know ourselves as men, and sometimes it takes other people providing suggestions and feedback. And Neil and I talk about this all the time. When Neil goes dark, I'm like, dude, you can't do that shit. That's selfish from my perspective, right? If John does that, when Rasheen don't want to talk, I'm like, dude, you can't just not talk to your friends. It's just you can't do that.
I'm a completely different wire, completely different. I'm like, yes, you can. That could be a part of what you need.
But that's what I'm saying. But this is what I say. This is my role in this group of us.
But do you understand that projecting that could make it worse?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. But you know where it comes from.
With that.
But you know where it comes from.
No, but see, I think
I'm not trying to make it worse. That it's because, like, dude, like,
no, but listen, this
before.
And this is what I say, because Keltrick and I, you're right. We talk about this all the time. And I'm not speaking for Rob. I'm gonna speak for myself. You may be right from your viewpoint, your lens, looking at it like, Neil, why the fuck you dark? We love you. Talk to us. But for me, if that's my healing mechanism, is to go dark and just deal with my own shit. And like, it's not personal, but you telling me that my healing mechanism is wrong is kind of like a deterrent and saying, fuck you.
I ain't saying it's wrong.
But it's still like, fuck your point of view, Neil. Do what I'm saying. Not saying that's what you're saying, but that's how it can come off.
I mean, if you take it how you need to take it. If it makes you
I feel like, once again, both parties can be right.
In a situation like that, I don't believe both parties can be right. If only you can determine what's right for you. Now, if what you're determining is it can physically harm you, or you might physically harm someone else, then of course you need to get that.
So let me something
as simple as coping.
Let John say his statement real quick. Go ahead, John.
Is it cool for you to do that to your wife? Is it cool for you to do that to your family?
20-second time out. My wife recognizing that I left my mama when I was 16 and I've pretty much been on my own for the most part since then. Like, hold a second. I'm about to answer it. Recognizing that now I have now come into an entire family that's larger than any family that I have been actively involved with in my life, and how that drains me. She has said, you need to go check yourself into a hotel. There is a moment that I will have to separate because I need that space in order to bring myself back. I wholeheartedly agree with this.
Do you tell her that, or does she have to recognize
it? The very first time she recognized it,
and since then,
it'll be like, I may need this time, or she may be like, I'm going here, you go there.
That's the point. I think
you changed your point, but go ahead.
Now you articulate your needs.
Yeah, but there may be a time that I don't.
Because she presented a safe space for you to do so.
But that wasn't the point. The point was about separation. Did you need to did you feel a need to separate? Did you feel a need to go dark? That was what your point was. You moving to go.
No.
Listen, America. KG always moves the goalposts.
John with me.
I understand what he's saying. It's like, what y'all are saying is like, as a man, what we're trying to say is like, men get the support where you can.
We're both Scorpios,
in whatever way that means. So basically, like Neil said that he likes to kind of retreat and just regroup and be by himself and be solo and quote unquote go dark. KG is the kind of person that he just wants to make sure that Neil is still alive. You know what I'm saying? We know that Neil will resurface it sooner or later. KG's gonna be like, yo, I haven't spoke to him in a minute. I want to make sure that he's okay, and he's gonna check in. And I think Neil understands that, so he like gives, and that it's a two-way street, like y'all was saying. Like, you know, that's just how it is, and so that's support, and that's what people do. There's plenty of men that simply do not have any relationship, not with a wife, with their kids, or anybody else, where they can say this person kind of knows me and knows what I need and is giving it to me the way it, you know. And that's very important, and it's also probably why we all still
a reason.
Hey Jay, real talk.
What else
too.
is new?
That's not true. No, don't do that. You're going too far. Here's the thing, though. We have a responsibility to each other at this point. 20 plus years in, to articulate. We got to get to the details, but to just be like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm going through something. I'll be back." I feel like it's a responsibility that we owe to each other as men, as friends, to just say, "Hey, this is, you know, I'll holler at y'all, but just, you know, I'm good, but I ain't good, but, you know, give me some space."
Right.
But by simply fading to black, I think that is, in this space, for even the men who go through what they go through, it is irresponsible and selfish from my point of view, because if these people are your friends, and when people like, man, I had no idea they was going through this shit. I just feel like you just be like, man, I didn't know that motherfucker like that. They just go through something. They don't tell nobody.
But think about how many times you and John have said that. Like on this show, it'd be like, damn, I didn't know you was going through that shit, Neil.
Exactly.
But at the same token,
the older you get, exposure leads to expansion.
I think we spoke about it before, and I'll tell you, Neil's mindset. I look at it like, if we're talking about the four of us right now, brothers, that we love each other. Roz married, got his life together. You happily married. Y'all both got your lives together with kids. John is a great father. So in my mind,
wait a minute. Is my life not together?
Yeah.
What you trying to say?
Yes, their life is together. But in my point is, the way I look at it from that scenario, it's like I could be going through some devastating shit. I would feel selfish, like I'm not trying to stop Roz's life, John's life. My shit could be some real detrimental shit that would need, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks. And I'm like, damn, I'm not going to impose that on them. So I'll just go dark, deal with it myself. And that's how I do it. When I go dark, that's why I don't like to, I do better now because Kelch be on my ass.
You do a lot better.
But that's why I didn't share a lot of shit. Like even sometimes me and John were talking. He was like, damn, dog, we know each other for 20 years. I didn't know you went through that shit. But I came out on the opposite end, I think, better. But sometimes, you know, that's how it is. Sometimes you don't want to tell everybody.
Hey, I'm not saying that's not true, what you're stating. What I'm adding to this conversation is the responsibility to communicate. I'm not saying it has to be detail oriented and got to be I laid out all the facts, anything like that. It's everybody needs their space at certain points in time. I get that. I respect it. I honor it. However, I think
I agree, Larry.
There's a responsibility to say, hey, I'm going through X, Y, and Z, or I need a moment, man. And if your friends love you, respect it, like Rasheem, me and Rasheem used to live together. And there's plenty of times when Rasheem would do some shit and he'd go through some stuff. I'd be like, hey man, he need to just chill out for a second. I wouldn't say nothing to him for a number of days. And then when he wants to reemerge, I'm like, you good? Well, I'm good. I never asked Rod no questions. I never want to invade into his space unless if he wants to present something. Rasheem and share stuff on this show I've never heard of in my life. I've never heard in my life. But I also, all of y'all, I don't ask questions like that. If y'all present information and y'all share, I'm here to listen. I'm here to support.
But you know, the one thing you did, I think John did say, or it was Ra, I think we have such a bond with each other in the sense that even if either one of us goes dark, we know that we're not going to be reckless.
Straight No Chaser.